We just redeemed 141,000 points for a Costa Rica trip that we have planned early next year. And I want to recreate that magic with you. And so for full transparency, I already booked this trip, so I kind of know where to look, but we're going to think of this as a case study where you can either use this for a future trip to Costa Rica that you want to plan just like this, or just transfer these strategies to your own redemption searches. So in this video, we're going to go step by step how to book your flight, your hotels. We'll even touch a little bit on rental cars. And now there's two types of kind of redemption methods here. One, which is the one I strongly recommend, especially as you get started, is you have a destination in mind and you plan the cards that you get and the types of points that you need. You go earn those and you use those on that redemption. Option number two is you stumble upon one crap ton of points, as one does, and so you have to figure out how to use those points for where you want to go. This redemption is kind of more of the latter because I've been stockpiling some points getting ready for our honeymoon, but we wanted to use some of them for a Costa Rica trip in the early of next year. So we're going to come about this as we have a crap ton of flexible points and we have a lot of options that we can use, so we're going to explore those here. So going into this, I know I'm going to stay at a Hyatt hotel. I don't have IHG, Marriott, Hilton points that I want to use, and I don't want to stay at a random hotel on the travel portal. And I do have Chase points. So going into this, I'm going to check out Hyatt hotels because I also know in Costa Rica there's two airports, the Liberia and the San Jose airport, because I've looked into Costa Rica trips in the past. So I'm going to take a look to see which hotels I'm interested in and whereabouts they are so I know which airport I'm flying into. So we're on the Hyatt website here, and I'm just going to type in Costa Rica, 1 room, 2 guests, and I'm going to go in May. So I'm just going to put in some random dates. I picked May because I did a quick Google search, try to figure out where the peak season, shoulder season is, because I usually try to look in the shoulder season area, and that includes May according to this chart here. And so looking at the map here, we've got Liberia up here, and then San Jose is down here. And let me see, there's a few, so a lot of the top hotels are looking like they're in the Liberia area, and that is a Hyatt place, so Los Altos. And there's a few at the San Jose, but me personally, looking at these, I'm kind of interested in some of these Liberia hotels. So this one's interesting. I looked at this, it's kind of like a boutique rainforest type thing, and I've heard great things about the Andaz as well, if you want more of a resort, beachy type feel. Anyways, so I decided that I wanted to go to Liberia area and get one of those hotels. So now that I know which hotel I'm going to go to, I'm going to go take a look at flights. I'm typing Liberia since we know we're going to Liberia, Costa Rica, and then we'll pick some random dates in May. So I'm trying to figure out which airlines fly to Costa Rica and particularly which ones fly nonstop. Looking on a random date here. So just looking at these flights in general, it looks like American Airlines flies nonstop there, but also looks like Delta, United, and even Southwest is there at the bottom. And so I know those fly there, but they have a connection, and it's looking like American Airlines is the only nonstop. Okay, so American Airlines does appear to be the only nonstop option for this day. We'll pick another random day for fun. And yep, so American Airlines seems to only be the nonstop option from Austin to Costa Rica. And so here I kind of made up in my mind that British Airways is going to be the route I'm going to look into. I'll also keep in the back of my mind like, oh, there is a Southwest option. I don't know what the price is. I'm going to look at that option later on because there was a connection to it, so an American Airlines or British Airways would be the preferred route for me. So from here, I'm going to look for award availability on British Airways to figure out which dates would be good for me to go. Now, I go over this very much in depth in this video linked up above, so we're going to kind of graze over it very briefly, but we're going to go through all the steps still. So I'm on Google Flights. I see we are only going one-way nonstop and particular dates. So I'm gonna keep this in mind as I go over to Qantas. So I'm gonna go to Qantas, I'm gonna hit this multi-city tool, and then I'm gonna pull up the award calendar. So I'm going to pick up the month of May as we hit search. And again, we're looking up Liberia Airport. So here I've got an award calendar and it's picking up all these award flights, and this is the return flights back. But looking back at this Google calendar, it looks like the nonstop flights, again, are only on Tuesdays, Sundays, and Thursdays. And so seeing all these other award flights lets me know that those award options are connecting flights. And I don't want connecting flights because then I'll pay more Avios. So I know that for the departure flights. Let me take a look at the return flights when those are. Looking here, it looks like, again, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. So American Airlines only flies back and forth from Austin on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Good to know. So knowing that the flights are only Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, and looking at the prices of those hotels, again, they're about 21,000 points at least per night. I'm going to go ahead and say for myself that I want to stay Thursday through Sunday, a short luxury stay in Costa Rica. And so looking here, looks like the first 3 Thursdays might have award availability, but looking at Sundays, it's only the 12th or the 19th that's showing me that there is award availability. So we'll check the 9th through the 12th to start off with. We'll go to BritishAirways.com, and to get to this part, you hit book and then book with Avios once you're logged in. Type in our information here. We're going to look for, we said May 9th through the Sunday. Notice that international websites, they will have weird calendars. Okay, so here are our flights here. It looks like we got it on the first try. On the outbound, we definitely have a non-stop from Austin to Liberia. And then on the way back that Sunday, bam, also a non-stop. Look at that. All right, so it's gonna be 22,000 points and $78 for taxes and fees. Whenever you fly international, there's usually a little bit more than the $11 that you're used to whenever you book domestic with the taxes. So we got the flights picked out. Now we're gonna see, do we actually have the hotel availability? So we're gonna go back to Hyatt and we'll adjust these dates to the 9th to the 12th here, update. And so yeah, so we got the hotels here. I'm still interested in that Rio Perdido one. So we're gonna hit view rates. Again, just because it shows up doesn't mean it's available. So it looks like we do have availability, and if we go through here, it will tell us exactly how much it costs, and it is 71,000 points for the 3-night stay. If you notice, that is not 21,000 points per night, and that's likely because there's a peak or off-peak night. We could check by looking at the points calendar here, and here it is. Yeah, so we're paying 25,000 points per night. And so there you have it. We got pretty lucky doing it on the first try. If you're going during peak season, or if you just had some bad luck, you may not find availability on the hotel. Then you have to kind of repeat the steps flying the airline availability, and it's a back and forth game. But real quick first, if you've gotten value from this video so far, go ahead and hit that like button down below. And if you want to learn more stuff like this, be sure to hit subscribe to follow along with me. This is Nurse Michael Travels, by the way. Here's some more. So far, if we're flying with 2 people, our redemption's costing 44,000 British Airways Avios and $156 in taxes, as well as 71,000 Hyatt points transferred from Chase for our hotel for a 3-night stay. So that 44,000 for the Avios can come from any bank, whether it be Capital One, Citi, Chase, American Express, Bilt, all those transfer to Avios. But if you're doing it all with Chase points, total this trip is costing 115,000 Chase points. Something else to consider is if there is a transfer bonus from the bank to British Airways. From time to time, there's 15, 20, 30% transfer bonuses. So where, let's say if there's a 30% bonus, if you transfer 1,000 points from whichever bank is having that, such as Chase, if you transfer 1,000 points, you get 1,300 points instead. And so taking advantage of those transfer bonuses can really increase the amount of value your points are giving you and let you use a lot less points. So at this point, there's a couple things that we can do before transferring the points and booking the trip. We can A, check Southwest just to be sure that there's not a better deal that we're missing out on. However, I doubt it. B, we can check our work in a way by using Point Me to see if there's a better option out there that we didn't really look into. And C, we can do the math to make sure that we're getting a good value from our points compared to the travel portal. And lucky for you, I did all 3 of those for you. So here's the Southwest award calendar. Looking at our departure and our arrival dates that we were working with, it was 26,000 just for departure, and it's 18,000 Southwest points just for the return. Now I will say there could be an argument that you could use the Southwest points if you wanted to return on Monday, and if you had the companion pass, that would actually be a decent deal at 24,000 points for 2 return flights on a Monday. Granted, there would be a connecting flight, but if you want to stay an extra night, that's how you do it. And this is what we ended up actually doing, because we wanted to stay a 4th night instead of just 3 nights. That felt a little bit too soon for us. And then checking our work, I went ahead and plugged this into Point Me, which is on Bilt's website. It's a free tool for Bilt members if you sign up and make an account. So looking here, checking our work, it looks like there's 10,000 points on American Airlines miles if you have those and wanted to use those. And looking lower here, it looks like our departing flight isn't showing up for some reason here, booked on British Airways, which it would if it was working right. So always be sure to check manually because you may be missing out on some award space. Otherwise, the next best points option for us would be the United using Air Canada's miles. And on the return flight, it looks like we did get the best option here. We've got 11,000 points. It's showing $101 because it's just a one-way. I think whenever we booked it round trip, it kind of reduces those taxes compared to if you were to do a one-way flight. And then the next option would be, again, Air Canada miles, booking on United with a connecting flight. So that confirms that we did have a pretty good deal with our first choice. And so here's the math for the flights. It rounds up to 1.65, so 1.7 cents per point. And then here's the math for the hotels. The cent per point calculation gives us roughly about 1.7 as well. And so these are decent valuations. Honestly, I typically get more for my Hyatt stays typically, but it's better than the travel portal, so I'm okay going ahead with this. And if you don't know what any of that meant, go ahead and check out this video here. I kind of break that down step by step for you. So at this point, you can be rest assured that you can go ahead and make this redemption. So you can transfer your Chase points over to Hyatt and then whichever points you want over to British Airways and continue making that redemption. You simply hit continue, put in your traveler information, put the credit card down that you want to use. I do recommend that you use a premium card such as the Chase Sapphire Preferred or Capital One Venture X to make sure you get those travel protections. I've got videos about both of those cards. I got one linked up above for you here. Costa Rica seems to be one of those countries where a rental car is kind of the preferred method of transportation to really see everything. So if you do go for a rental car, I strongly encourage you to use autoslash.com. It's an amazing website that makes finding the best deal on a rental car very easy. I made a video that I'll link up above for you all about how to save money on rental cars, an in-depth tutorial about how to use autoslash. So please be sure to check that out. And that's essentially every step I took to book my Costa Rica trip that's coming up next year. And I hope this has been very valuable for you. If you like this type of stuff, go ahead, let me know in the comments. And if you want me to help you out with your particular trip, go ahead, let me know, and I'd be happy to make a tutorial for you here. In the meantime, if you want to see another redemption I've made, you can check out this video here. Or if you want to learn more in depth how to book that American Airlines flight using British Avios, check out this video over here. See ya.